Hi guys, my name is Lauren and I'm going to talk about the life-changing event that occurred in my life this past year. There are certain events and people that shape you as an individual as you start to grow up, and certain scenarios shape you to be who you are today. And when people think of life-changing events, you think of tragedies. So typically things such as divorce or the loss of a loved one come to mind. Another big factor would be cancer, if anyone has ever battled cancer or losing a lost one to cancer. And according to the National Cancer Institute, 38.4% of men and women will be diagnosed with cancer in their life, which is not a very good statistic when you think about it. At 18, I was a little too comfortable with death than I should be, just because how much I've been around it, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. The first death I experienced of a patient of mine. It was obviously very tragic, but I didn't know the patient very well. I didn't know her, nor did I have a conversation with her, which sounds kind of weird. But what hurt the most was seeing what the family was going through. And every single day I'd walk in, I'd offer the patient's husband a cup of coffee and talk with him a little bit. And you could just see how much he was hurting. And though his wife had little to no function of her own body, and she was pretty much sedated, so therefore she could not talk, it was hard to see that he was hurting and he was struggling so much. And why that was so moving and life-changing for me is because it opened up a window of self-reflection for who I want to be with me when I'm struggling that much and when I'm facing cancer or whatever it might be in my life. Who do I want at the side of my hospital bed? And because it was the death of a patient, the hospital I worked for knew that that was really hard for me, and that was the first time. So my visual aid is a picture of the card and the flowers that they got me after the patient passed away. It was just hard seeing how much her husband struggled day in and day out, and yet he didn't love her any less, and he kept loving her. And so that's what I want to take away, is that you just have to think about the relationships that you're forming and who's going to be there for you at the end of the day. Thanks for listening.